Howdy folks, Rob here. Welcome back to the channel. Back on Gran Turismo 7. Going to check out a couple of more cars in game. We've got the recent update for Gran Turismo last week, and on it, we're going to check out this rather cool Ferrari Scuderia 430, which we got in the update. Now I'm going to check out the regular F430 as well, but obviously this Scuderia is the, basically the track version of it. It's been completely stripped out. It's got more power. Quite a few upgrades over the regular one, so we're going to go check them both out at the track. But before we do that, let's go jump into the VR. We'll have a look and see what this thing looks like, and then we'll hit the track. Alright, here we are, track day, sun is shining in the garage, and we have the beautiful 2007 Ferrari 430 Scuderia to have a look at. Can we change the time of day to make... There we go, it looks a bit better now. We've got some lights, sun is still shining, but yeah, we're going to have a look at this car. I love VR. Hopefully it's not shaking around too much. I changed some settings, but the regular 430 is just a very, very pretty car. But this one, with the slightly changed grille on the front bumper, and of course, those two stripes. It's almost worth the extra $100,000 just for those stripes alone. I love VR. Now, I've seen plenty of 430s in my lifetime, but I've never seen a Scuderia. Granted, if you took the stickers off, most people, and I think I'd be included in this, could not tell the difference, except the fact that the Scuderia does have carbon fiber wings. I was looking at the... it does have carbon fiber side mirrors as well, which the regular one does not have. I absolutely love having a look at the cars in this mode. VR is just absolutely fantastic. That very familiar back end of these 430s look fantastic. The Scuderia with that massive diffuser down the back, those two exhaust pipes, it looks fantastic. With these goggles on, you just want to reach out and touch it. So look at those curves. It's just such an aerodynamic thing. One thing I do appreciate about these, especially the 360s and the 430s you see on screen, compared to a lot of modern day supercars, these have a bit more of a throwback to where the cars are a bit more curvy and they're a bit softer lines. Cars nowadays are really aggressive, and I think these will have a lot more of a timeless look about them. These 430s, even after what's that, 15 or so years, that's the way they still look just as good. So let's take a look inside and then we'll hit the track. Alright, before we jump into the Scuderia, I thought we'd check out the regular 430 car that I've never sat in, but it looks pretty good. I've got a racing version of this that I've driven quite a lot in game. I'm not typically a fan of leather, but I've got to say, when you're driving around in this car in game, it does look nice and big and spacious and quite bright. And so you have a look at this one. You got well equipped. You got some leather dashboard, leather seats, quite well trimmed and detailed for a Ferrari. Now let's look at the Scuderia. The difference is night and day. Gone is all the leather, the carpet. You got a bit of Alcantara up on the dashboard. That's about it. Carbon fiber bucket seats. You don't even get a proper dash. You know, all the dashes stripped out, all the consoles are bare, the doors are basically gone. You got a little handle, you got a little flap there to put paperwork or something in, but no carpets. I get a lot of Ferrari F40 vibes in here. You can see the floorboards. This is just a metal sheet. I'm not flexible enough to look around to the back properly without really annoying the VR, because you got your limitations. You can only go so far before it freaks out, but it is pretty cool to sit in. Very distinctive steering wheel. We've all seen that on plenty of sim rigs over the time. You got your flappy paddles. Looks great. So yeah, we're going to take this to the track. We'll go compare them both. Something tells me this one may be a little bit faster. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monza. Lovely sunny day. We've got the Scuderia. Shift up into third. We've got the F430 next to me. And we're just going to compare the two, drive around for a couple of laps. First impressions with the steering wheel. Love the sense of speed you feel when you got the VR on. Is the F430 forgets to brake. We're not online, so they're not going to go, so I've got to be careful I don't ram them. All right, let's go now. We've got to make up a bit of time now. They're pulling ahead as the refresh rate does some wonders on the details of that car. I love VR, but it does have its limitations. Sometimes the draw distance and pop-in can be interesting, but overall, love the sense of speed. The Ferrari V8 sounds absolutely fantastic. In my headphones, braking's a little bit... felt like the wheels are locking on there. As you can see, I've got traction control on one. Hopefully it's not jumping around too much with the VR. I prefer to drive with the VR, but I'm still got to remember to keep my head a bit more steady because it can get a bit rocky and jumpy. This car is a little over 100 kilograms lighter than the car in front. They did that by basically stripping out the car like I saw it before when we did the quick look through the VR showroom. Completely bared it out. A little bit more power, a lot less weight. Obviously one of the biggest changes is the F1 clutch gearbox for very, very quick gear shifts. Don't trust me, this car does handle really well. The problem is I'm driving it. It is my first time with the wheel on this. It's still a bit, I've recently done some setting changes and it's a lot better, but I was just getting used to it, and then the recent update changed the physics just enough that I've had to basically go back to square one again. I know what I want to do. I've been playing racing games for a long, long time, but it's a lot harder with the wheel. We've got a good run out there. The extra power, say goodbye to the little black F40 behind us. Listen to that V8. With a few upgrades and exhaust system, this thing should be sounding pretty good. Brake around the 200, I reckon. Hard on the brakes. Not too hard, but because I don't want to lock them on. Even with the ABS, you can still lock on the brakes if you full on jam your pedal down. So I've got the Fanatic Club Sport V3s. They're absolutely fantastic pedals, best ones I've ever had. But the brake pedal, you really got to put your foot down. There's a lot of resistance. And when you do a really long race, it can get a bit much. The car got a little bit loose there under braking. Not blaming the car, that's obviously my skill level. I'm only doing my second lap with the wheel on this car, so it's going to take a little while to learn what the limits are, and not just for the car and the physics, but my skill level. I've driven the regular 40 quite a lot, not the one behind me, but I have another one in my garage, so I've built up to a race car which is up to 700 pp, and I've a couple of thousand kilometers on that one. That's my go-to race car. I absolutely love it, and I imagine this would just be as good once we build it up. Hard on the brakes, under the bridge, into the chicane. He's on the throttle. We stuffed that up last time, bit better. Granted, most people will be probably on the pit straight by now. I'm many seconds off the pace. But yeah, what I'll do next after this one, we will go to my test track. I'm going to take both cars. We're going to give them 10 flying laps each to see which one's better. Ooh, again, it locked up. Maybe the setting's not happy with this car. Locks up under braking. Maybe this car requires a little bit more subtle braking, not more. I probably probably giving it too much pressure. Alright, so I'll do a bit more testing, then I'll go to the test track, and hopefully by then I've improved my skill level. Alright, so I brought both cars to Scuderia. Layout C, where I'm going to be testing a lot of these cars to find out how good they are to drive. The only downside to these great cars is I'm the one behind the wheel. So I brought the regular F430 around here first. Gave it 10 flying laps, ran a little bit wide there into the gravel. Yeah, my skill level's not the best at times, but overall, this is a pretty good fun car to drive. It does slide around a bit at the back end. You've got a bit of weights in the back, being a mid-engine supercar, but it is pretty easy to handle and control it. Can get a little bit twitchy as long as you get a little bit of throttle control here and there. Overall, the balance is really good. These 360s and 430s are great cars to drive through the chicane here. Overall, sometimes you got to lift if you don't get your entry line right, but overall, pretty consistent, easy car to drive around here. This last corner on the exit onto pit straight, there's a bit of camber. It does throw the back end out a bit, as you see it run a little bit wide. Still haven't perfected the line on that one, but overall, great car. It sounds not too bad. All right, next up, we've got the 430 Scuderia after the F430. This is quite a big difference on the track in every way imaginable. It is absolutely better, and let's just admit, from the stripes alone, it does look better. It does sound pretty good as well. That V8, high revving Ferrari V8 does sound quite nice around here to drive. it's 100 kilograms lighter, and that makes all the difference. You can brake later, you can take the corners quicker, you can get on the power earlier. It is really well balanced. On some of the corners where there's a bit of camber, it can get a bit tricky on the back end. You got a little bit of throttle control just to balance the weight transfer, but through the chicane there, most of the times I went flat out. Sometimes I had to lift if I didn't get the entry right, but overall, compared to the regular 430, this is so much better. It is so much more responsive, and if I had to pick stock standard, I'd pick this one every day. The only difference is it's about 6 figures more to buy it, but it is worth it. Although sometimes when you're pushing that extra bit hard to squeeze out a little bit of time, you kind of clip the wall. And right off a car. All right, so we check out the leaderboard, and the Scuderia was quite comfortably quicker than the 430. I thought it might have been a little bit closer, but it's a full second and a bit faster. That shows you what a difference is. 100 kilos makes like 7 or so horsepower more, but the weight difference is incredible. The Scuderia, you can just throw this thing around. It's so much more agile. You can brake later, you can corner quicker, and that's the difference. Even on a pretty small track, this is 1.2 seconds quicker. Overall, both really good cars. Once you upgrade them fully, I imagine they're going to be roughly the same anyway, but stock standard is a big difference. All right, so there we have it. The 430 and the Scuderia, both really good cars in their own right, but the one you see on screen is the far better car. In stock standard, by far, you always pick this. As long as you can afford it. It's a little bit more expensive than the regular car, but god damn, it does look really good. It's good to see it in the game. Hopefully one day we get a 360 challenge in the game, because they're one of my favorite track cars in other games as well, but that is just a beautiful, timeless figure of a car that's going to age well for a very long time to come. So I'm Rob. This is Gran Turismo, enjoying the experience playing this game again. So until the next video, see you later.